Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, getting listeners. Back again with another episode, talking Brew Crew as we like to do, and we're just talking about a sweep. So good stuff. If you don't know, this podcast is on daily. It is on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Castbox, just to name a few. Rumble. I got some new followers over there, so. Um, Talking brew crew like we do here. This is kind of the theme of the day. Talking brews. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Today was a great day. Any day where we put up the dub, sweep a team is a great day, right? The Brewers came out after an awful series against the Dodgers. And I don't think anybody really expected the Brewers to be playing this well over this weekend series, especially after watching them get just defeated by the Dodgers. It was ugly. Brew Crew, however, maintains first place. They maintain a 3-game lead over the second place Chicago Cubs. A lot of Cubs fans were running some smack this week saying, "Oh, we'll be in first place by Monday." And that just isn't the case. Actually, they said by Sunday, but Monday, whatever, Sunday, same thing. And the Brewers maintained and put up a lot of runs, and it was a beautiful, beautiful series. We're gonna do a full series recap. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna highlight some of the stars. So good stuff. If you want to join the podcast, I am going to leave the code in the comments here. So if you want to be on air with me live right now, you can join by hitting that code. We are presented by SeatGeek. Use the code Miller Park Minute. If you want to support the podcast, you can go on to patreon.com/Miller Park Minute. Sign up for our newsletter, get exclusive content. You can join on on YouTube. Sorry, not Facebook. Facebook, though, we do have a page over there, Miller Park Minute and the Milwaukee Brewers. If you want to chat with me, you can get at me. We're going to talk about the scores around the league first and foremost. I am in the fantasy matchup of my lifetime. I have an 18-0 streak going for 19-0, and it all comes down to Zach Wheeler tonight. So, but games have already finished up. We've got the Pirates lost to the Twins. The Cardinals beat the Mets. The Cubs beat the Royals. Kind of go figure, right? Of course, we beat Texas today, completing our sweep. The Reds lost to the Blue Jays. The Tigers beat the Guardians. The New York Yankees lost to the Boston Red Sox 6-5. The Braves lost to the Giants. The Braves are beatable. That proves that the Braves are beatable. Houston lost to Seattle. So it's any given day, guys. It really comes down to any given day. So let's go back and let's start at the beginning of this series, where we had just come off of this terrible defeat, this terrible loss. And really what it came down to is unfortunately just not an outing where we gave the pitching the support it needed early enough, even albeit we won in the end. And it was just a little back and forth. I mean, that's what happens. A little back and forth, a couple balls get knocked in. One of the big things in that game is everybody was hitting. We put up 14 hits, got 9 runs. Huge. Woody still had a good outing. No disrespect to Woody. I mean, I wish these guys would get more run support early. It just didn't happen. So he did give up 4 2 long balls were the bite of Woody that really kind of took him down there. But I don't think by any means that's a bad outing on Brandon Woodruff's part. We should be able to hold up a lead. It was just a tie ball game, and then we The Rangers put one more on, and that's part of it. That's what happens in this game. That's what happens in baseball. Really, the bats came through, came alive. Of course, you got Devin Williams coming in for the save. Couple roughed up bullpens, but that comes down to where we're talking about these games right now. Is the Brewers bullpen arms don't have much room to breathe. They don't have these ginormous leads. And even you could go into today's game. There was a lead for Bryce Wilson, but he just kind of screwed it up. And that happens. You're going to have those. You take the good with the bad. The outings where you're going to get a little roughed up, and you just roll with it. And they managed to roll 3 of them into a weekend sweep over the Texas Rangers, the first place Texas Rangers. Let's not forget about that. I'm sick of this narrative that we hear on X about the Brewers not being able to play good teams. The Braves, yes. The Dodgers, yes. Those teams have our number. We got to figure out how to play them and how to beat them if we are going to get to a progress point in the playoffs, and that's going to be the tough part. But if you look at this game, the goods really Yelly with a 2-for-3 day. He had 2 walks that day. Contreras getting it done with 3 RBIs. He had 3-for-5 on the day. Santana doing Santana things. He was 1-for-4, but he had that home run. 3 RBIs for him. Canna, again, doing it. That was just an offensively good day. We're still getting struggles from Montecero and Weimer, but I think those things can be rectified. You're going to take the good with the bad. Turang had a 3-for-3 day with a walk. Taylor, 1-for-4 day. Taylor just kind of keeps finding a way to hit. So, I mean, that's tremendous in and of itself. I think Tyrone Taylor is one of those guys who's just kind of, he wasn't supposed to be here at this point, but the way things worked out, he is here, and he's contributing, and today he contributed in a big way. So the other big piece of this that I'm going to cover is Saturday's game. Saturday's game was another strong victory by the Crew. So when you look at Saturday, the story of the game really comes down to consistency of just adding runs, biting away at it, so to speak, taking those little bites. You got a good outing from Freddie Peralta, who Freddie Peralta has looked a lot better in these last few starts than he has season-wide. And he's just kind of, he's putting it together. He went 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, only 1 earned run given up, and it wasn't the long ball. He struck out 11, which he is now inching his way up the list of players in outings where he's struck out 10 or more. So double-digit strikeouts in quite a few outings. So if you go back through his last few outings, Texas, he did 11. Previously in Chicago, he did 6. He did 13 in Colorado, which was the best for him. Last 7 starts, he's 5-1 with a 2.38 ERA. 42 innings with 61 strikeouts and a .91 ERA. That's awesome. Even if you go back to his last 15, 5-5. So I mean, he's made a tremendous jump in the last few starts. And then again, the bullpen. I mean, that's kind of where we talked about. I mean, no runs from Milner, Uribe, still killing it out there. Piamps, no runs. McGill, really good stuff. Just all around a complete performance in that game. And then you can't fault the offense. The offense put up 15 hits, scored 6 runs. Again, we'd like to close that gap. I'm going to cover this every time we talk about this. You'd like to close that gap between the the runs and the hits. You want more of your guys to score, not leave as many on base. But when it's a win, you can't fault it. There is no ugly on a win. We've talked about this numerous times. There's not an ugly point on a win. So that is something to say when you take a look at this game. I mean, Dunning didn't have it all day. They only used 2 pitchers on the other side, but still we were able to get to him, and that's important. Now, if we go to Sunday, the final game of the sweep, we locked up the series. 2 sweeps on this road trip too, which was, I think we were going into this expecting it to be the worst road trip in the history of Brewers baseball. Just by the way, fans were talking, people were talking on X, and it really turned out to be one of our best series we've had, minus the 3 games against the Dodgers. We won 6 of 9 games, 6 of the last 9, which is pretty solid. I mean, I won't fault the team for winning 6 of 9 games, especially playing two top of division teams, 2 top level teams when it comes to the playoff run. So we're 7-3 in the last 10, which is straight out awesome. I think that's what it comes down to. It was really, really good to put good baseball. Good to put up good baseball over the weekend, over this series, over these last few weeks. The Brewers have been fighting it out and really playing hard baseball. Today, though, was a different scenario all the way around. Now you go in, and each starter is different, each game is different. But you look at what Hauser did there. Hauser has been doing something that he has not done and not played this level really in 2 years. So Hauser goes out, throws 5, 6 hits, 1 run, and it was via the long ball. 7 Ks. I don't remember ever talking about the number of strikeouts that Adrian Hauser had, because it was always so few. And that is really the meat and potatoes of what's going on with Doogie. I call him Pukey. That's my nickname for him. All those puking starts that he did. But if you look at the last 7 games for Hauser, he's gone 2-2, 5.11 ERA, 37 innings pitched. So he's putting in the time, a 1.35 ERA, 41 strikeouts for him. That's pretty decent from a guy like Adrian Hauser, who's, your 5th starter, kind of a guy that could potentially be replaced if another reliever rose to be a starter. But just kind of this comes back down to how the season has fallen out. If you look at where we started, where we thought we were going to have Ashby and where we're going to have Wade Miley, Corbin Burns, you don't even throw in that you had Julio Teheran because you didn't think you were going to have Julio Teheran. You didn't think Colin Ray was going to get starts because you didn't know. And Colin Ray and Julio Teheran are guys that could potentially come back and help this club in the long haul, and you might see a shift in Hauser. But I think this is where Hauser's pitching his butt off right now, because Hauser is in the position where, down the stretch, he could potentially lose his job to a Julio Teheran, who did have quality starts, albeit we didn't score runs. He came out and he played when we needed to, and he really put up some good innings for us. So how many Ks did have over this series in Texas? Hey, Richard, how is it going? How many total are we talking? So there was 11 today. Freddie threw up 10, not including the bullpen. Hold on, I'll tell you I'll get you a brief second here. So on this game is today. Yeah, 11 today. And that's the other thing. Our bullpen gets strikeouts too, like crazy. 18 yesterday. That obviously the 18 is helped by the good outing by our good friend Freddie Peralta. So 18 plus 11, we're at 29. And then if we go back to Friday, Woody had like 6? 11. Oh, no, that's Saturday. Yeah, so 18. Sorry. There you go, all the way back. There we go. 9 to 8. So, Friday. I should have this stuff just written down. It'd be way easier. So 6. So 35 total strikeouts for Brewers pitching over the weekend. That's a huge number. And that speaks volumes. The Brewers in a 3-game series putting up 6, 6, and 9. So 12. Was that 20? 9 plus 12 is 21 runs. 21 runs in 3 games of baseball. That's a lot for this team and for this crew. And it's been good. It's been good. So if I were to look at today, I'd say the good, bad, and downright ugly of this game that we just watched is we got to Scherzer early. That's great. That's huge. Over the years, we've actually had Scherzer's number in a few instances. I remember one no-hit bid that Scherzer had against us, and I stayed for most of it and then left, and Carlos Gomez actually broke up the no-hit bid, and I was sad because that was a no-hitter that I could have said I was at, but that was, I think, one of the closest I've ever got, besides the CC Sabathia start, to watching a no-hitter, and CC Sabathia's start was a no-hitter in the end. But, yeah, and then you look at really the falter here, the bad point was Bryce Wilson. Otherwise, it was smooth sailing outside of that. So Bryce Wilson gets our bad sombrero for today. You could point to Monasterio and Tellez not getting any hits across the day. I mean, Weimer didn't have any. Canna didn't have any. I mean, it wasn't a solid, strong hitting day like last night. But at the same time, you just need enough to win. That's what it comes down to. You just need enough to win, just like you just need enough points to win. In anything. I mean, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or you win by a mile. That's Vin Diesel. A little Fast and the Furious, just in case you're curious. Oh, my God. I'm on a rhyming streak. Dear God. Dear God, what am I doing? I'm rhyming away. But, yeah, we got – and Devin Williams comes in with – now he's got 30 saves on the season. Comes in for a third of an inning, does his job. I mean, when I see people complain, I'm always like, what more do people want from this team, and what more do people want from this crew? Because like they're out there doing it, and they're holding their own right now. They're staying consistent in first place, and we're going into a series where we've got the Twins. And then the Padres. And the Padres may be a little bit of a tough matchup for us, but our A starters are going to be playing in those games. I mean, we got Miley and Burns rocking the 2 games versus the Twins. But we're going to have Woody and Freddie coming in over the weekend. So. And I think all of the starters have been doing pretty well. I'm not here to falter to say that they haven't. It is good to see Rowdy back in the lineup. Yes, it is. I agree. I think I'm actually wearing Rowdy today. I rocked my Tellez. I think it'll be, we're going to get the DFA Rowdies. We're going to get the release Rowdies. Rowdy's positional depth at the end of the day, and that's what this team has always thrived upon is this positional depth. Will he come back and get back to form? We don't know. And it's okay. It's okay to have these guys. Look at what Tyrone Taylor does. Tyrone Taylor, albeit may not have the best batting average and have had the best season so far, but Tyrone Taylor hits, and I rip on Tyrone Taylor, so I'm going to say this. Tyrone Taylor hits when he needs to hit. He gets in at the times that, he's gonna put up a meaningful at bat. And I think any one of these guys can put up a meaningful at bat. You play to the streaks. Speaking of streaks, let's talk about just our leaderboard. Only major changes: 287 batting average for Christian Yelich. Runs 87, Christian Yelich. Willie Adames, 19 homers, hit another one over the weekend series. RBIs, still Christian Yelich. You get a lot of that from batting leadoff. Christian Yelich, 25 stolen bases. He hasn't been hitting the Powerball, which is fine. I mean, I tell you every time, it's fine. I mean, I'm not too concerned. Wins, new leader in wins after this weekend series, Freddie Peralta with 10. I already highlighted Freddie, but it doesn't go without saying that Freddie has been doing very well. He's stepped up in this later half of the season, and let's hope he keeps it going. We already mentioned Devin in the saves. Devin goes out there. It doesn't matter if he's pitching 1 inning or if he's pitching 5. Just kidding. Yes, negative attention will get noticed every time, for sure. Great to see the offense hit with some slug. That has been the biggest hurt for the Brewers this year, and lack of slug. Have more confidence in Taylor than Weimer. I do. I mean, I think Weimer is necessary to the team in the sense that he, and we'll talk on this for a minute, he has been there the whole time, and this is really about learning for him. I don't think anybody expected, I don't think the Brewers expected that they were going to be put in this position where they're going to use Weimer all season long. I think they thought they'd call him up late. So for him to have been there and to come out, and he's got a good attitude, and I think that's part of what keeps him there is his good attitude and the fact that everybody loves him. Because he could have used this send down just like Turang got. Turang has done so much better since he got sent down. Will we see that with Weimer? Probably not. I mean, outside of an injury. But Taylor, yes. Taylor has definitely shown his value with his bat. And that comes with experience, which Weimer is up here to get. So I definitely can understand where you say that, Charles. And yeah, Weimer's offense is gonna not be there right now, and like I said, we could send him down, and maybe that would help him. I don't know. I mean, it helped Turang, but I think also the numbers switch, the mentality switch. I think these young guys have to grow, and they're in a position where they're growing in the major leagues right now. So that's what it comes down to is. We're letting guys grow in the major leagues, much like Freddie, Corbin, and Woody. They all grew up in the major leagues. Freddie came out and looked like a rock star in his first start, and then got knocked around a lot. Burns was a reliever; he got knocked around a lot. And that's part of what they got to do to make this team more durable. And we're unfortunately in a position, and I said this the other day in a conversation with somebody, we're unfortunately in a position where we've kind of switched gears from where we were. If you remember the 2007, 2008, we were always a hitter-first club. And now we've come to the point where we're not a hitter-first club, we're a pitching-first club. And the pitching, take the good with the bad, but, I mean, the pitching has been the most solid part of our team. It's always been run support and offense. You roll Brandon Woodruff out there every 5 days, and he doesn't get all the hits and everything like that. Or even the same with Corbin Burns. You're gonna roll these guys out there, and they're not going to get 5 runs of offense. Yeah, Santana had a great road trip. Canna did some things. I think that's one thing to look at when you look at these victories is, these guys acclimated to being with the ball club, and now they're hitting and they're more comfortable. It was said on the broadcast today by Tim and Brian that once they've acclimated, now they're getting more comfortable with the team, which is going to help their production and help them. And it was good to see. It's good to see him get a couple homers and get help contribute in these wins, because that's important for the overall chemistry. I remember when Jonathan Scope came in and he didn't do crap. He went from being the AL Player of the Week alongside, I believe it was Christian Yelich was the NL Player of the Week, and he came in and he was kind of useless for us. I think he had one major grand slam against like Wayno or MIlwaukee or something like that against St. Louis, but Scope did not do very much. I always liked the guy. I thought he was a true tough player and he had grit, but he. So to see Canna come in and to see Santana come in and be doing well is good. Chafin, jury's still out on him. Chafin's role has not been defined in the Brewers bullpen, and I think that's kind of right now is the big piece of this whole puzzle is you're jockeying guys for position in the bullpen. Look at McGill got more time today because he had a good outing, and it's trial by fire. I actually said to somebody last week, I said, look, who was it? Mejia. I said, Mejia is going to have an injury. Just you wait. Mejia is going to be injured and put on the IL or sent down the day after it happened. And he was. That's exactly what happened. He was put on the IL. He was sent down right away. Just finishing what I was saying here, Devin with the saves 30. He's been pretty automatic. I mean, he showed some rust when he hasn't pitched, but he's been pretty good. Burns 3.43 ERA, and that's just because he's been more consistent than Freddie over the long haul of the season. Freddie 168 strikeouts, Corbin Burns 106 WHIP. The key pieces here is keeping these guys consistent over the long haul and the long term of the season, the long run of the season, and that's where we're fighting right now. We're fighting a consistency battle, trying to keep these games in a consistent flow, I guess is the best way to put it. A consistent nature. We want to put up these victories. We want Corbin Burns to come out there every 5 days and pitch his best. We want Freddie to come out and pitch his best, and we also want to get run support for him too. If we can even have the guys hitting streaks, like certain guys didn't hit today, but they hit yesterday. If we can have that going, Montecchio didn't do much of anything all weekend, but excuse me. But Montecchio did, in the long haul, play some valuable defense, which is important. So we really got to look at what the long and short, where the benefits are. I don't envy Craig Counsell in his job. I may second guess him, and I think we all do. But I think at the end of the day, he knows what buttons to push, when to push them. We could go back to the Dodgers series and recount what he did wrong there, but I don't worry about that. I think what's important coming forward is just taking them series by series, like we've been doing. Grab one, grab two out of a series, grab three. We've got some series on Minnesota. We should be able to compete pretty hard against. Minnesota is actually doing similar to us in the standings portion of this. So Minnesota's record is, 68 and 57? They were 65 and 57. Sorry. Last time I checked, they were in first place in the AL Central. The AL Central is very similar to the NL Central, as where they have a lower, first place AL Central, lower win totals. And it's not a matter of like bad baseball. It's not bad baseball. It's just, I feel in a way it's more competitive baseball. But Bailey Ober is who we got tomorrow. I don't think it's worse. Hold on. Craig Counsell, I'm going to cover this real quick. I don't know. I don't know if he's even close to made a decision. I think he's just playing out, riding it series by series till the end of the season. And it depends where they get and what happens. And I think they could back a Brinks truck up right now, and I think he would still ride out until the end of the season. He's got kids to think about. That decision isn't going to be. Don't read any headlines on Craig Counsell because there's no answers. We won't know until the season's over. Their division is even worse. I wouldn't say worse. I'd just say worse record-wise. Yeah, sure. But it's a matter of just a different level of competition, games outside the division. They have a different level of player and a different level of competition overall. Playing AL teams is, I feel, a lot harder than playing NL teams at the end of the day. So we do have some exciting things coming forward that I want to briefly mention. If you look at the schedule ahead, we've got CC Sabathia coming back to Milwaukee for the 925 game? 825, sorry. And you get a poster, first 20,000 fans. CC is going to be in the house. It's going to be a CC Love Fest. We're going to reminisce on 2008, much like we've done for 1982 for many years. So that'll be fun. The other topics of conversation that are coming up is Garrett Mitchell is being optimistic about return. He is actually going to be in Milwaukee with the club, looking like this week over the homestand. So that should be fun. Alan McCavey did a nice little story about that. Let's talk about the injury page real quick while we're on it. Fly's obviously reinstated. Good to see Rowdy back. I'd like to get him some hits. Toro was sent back down. No surprise there. He's kind of one of those transient guys. Winker, there's no designated timetable. He's been playing some rehab games. Julio Teheran surrendered 6 runs in the first inning and 9 over 5 innings of the July 29th loss to the Braves. Yeah, it doesn't say if he's going to be back this year. Ashby September, if that happens. Wilson's out. Darren Ruff, August. I don't know. Those aren't the guys I'm too worried about. I think Garrett Mitchell would be that spark. He would definitely be a player that we could watch to make an impact on this club at this juncture. Other than that, guys, this has been the live session, I guess, for the Sunday/Saturday. I should have done a live yesterday, but life got busy. And with the later game or the earlier game, I just didn't think it would be prudent, I guess. So that being said, guys, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, share with your friends. We will catch you in the next episode. As always, go Brew Crew. See you in the next one.